What's going on, people? Once again, it's Glendon, your hustling godfather, with some good old recession talk. Today, we're going to chop up some more economic indicators that the economy is economically segmented. Yes, economically segmented because for the folks who's going to make recommendations, I am on Zyrtex. It's just they mowed my yard and I'm all messed up. But we are living in strange times. We're locking up babies. We are starting fights with our trade partners. And we're facing inflation. Some very, very interesting times indeed. But we're going to talk about that and more. But for now, I need to let you guys know. One of the things, because Starbucks, and this is what's really funny, Starbucks has built 3 new locations less than a mile apart. Like outside the perimeter. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's 285 is considered the perimeter, and there's inside the perimeter, inside 285, outside 285. Outside of 285, right at the lip where Roswell Road and 285 meet, they just built a new Starbucks. Not half a mile away, there's an older Starbucks. I don't know if that's going to be one of the stores that's going to close. And then you go up the street, not half a mile away, is another Starbucks. So there is 1, 2, 3. And then there's some distance. It's like a mile and a half, 4. So there are 4 Starbucks in less than maybe 2 miles from the first one. So I always thought that was strange. But they're closing 150 underperforming stores, right? I'm sitting there like, but you're building. And they're building, I forgot they're building another one. So they have clearly data that I am not privy to, because it makes no sense to me to be building these stores this close together. But that's something that has worked for them because they've grown like kudzu. But now they're running into some problems. And I'm going to tell you what problems I think they're running into. Starbucks appeals to a certain kind of people. Someone who doesn't mind spending $5 to $12 on a cup of coffee every morning, or a group of people who like to use their free Wi-Fi. Well, our underclass is growing. Now, I know you're going like, Glendon. What do you mean the underclass is growing? Well, we've got a situation where we have more poor people than we've ever had before, because we have a bigger population. Let's get rid of that. We have, just had to make sure the ads were turned off. We have a bigger population. We have situations economically that we have a class of people who do not have the economic skill sets, the marketable skill sets to compete in the current world today. So that gulf is getting bigger. And typically it is the people in the Silicon Valley, the people near Tech Village. These are Starbucks people, engineers, programmers, make 60 to 100K a year out of college. It's not a problem for them to drop $60 a week at Starbucks, $240 a month, $3,000 a year. Not a problem. That group of people proportionally is smaller because many of these folks who used to be in that group are falling out, which is kind of crazy since we have this big economic boom. We have this huge stock market. Unemployment's the lowest ever in some states. Like Nashville. How many of you know about Nashville? Nashville is growing like crazy. Nashville has an unemployment rate of like 2%. 2% because there's so much building and stuff going on, and they're growing. But wait. How many of you remember that these half-finished subdivisions were out there? It's like their financing got cut off right in the middle of the project. Sounds familiar? All this building. Now with commercial, like a skyscraper or something, it's a law. They make sure that they get all that money up front because no city wants a skeleton skyscraper just hanging out in their skyline. But this is very reminiscent of 2007. Booming, but the slowdowns would hit here and here and here. It wasn't an overall slowdown. So what I believe, what I know, what I feel is that we are at the lip. And I mean, there's some sectors that are already in recession because Starbucks is a well-run company. Starbucks has had a few issues, but if Starbucks isn't careful, they can close. And I say this because Toys R Us. I'm a Toys R Us kid. I grew up with Toys R Us. They're closing down all 450 of their stores. A well-known international brand is closing down their stores. So Starbucks, this could happen to them if they're not careful. This can happen to them if they do not manage their debt. This can happen to them if they get caught with their pants down because the economy is shifting. I've talked about this. One of the things that has happened is you can do more with less. Like this show I'm doing. I'm doing it on my laptop, which was like $2,700. I got my iPad over here. That was like $1,300. So that's $4,000. I got the camera. That's I think it was a 129 because I got the wide angle. So that's 4,200. The Zoom recorder, which is 400. So that's 4,600. And the Shure mic, which is 400. So $5,000 sunk cost in this production. And then sometimes when I turn the lights on, and it'll still be in the 5,000. We'll go back 10 years. To do what I'm doing with $5,000 worth of equipment, would have had to have a cameraman, which just for the day, we'll just do day cost. $240 just for the cameraman. Then the monitors, then the technicians to do what I do to switch stuff. One of them, another $240, so that's $500. Then the cameras and stuff. Oh, the cameras were like at least $2,000. So that's $2,500. Then the set and all this other stuff. So to put on one show would cost them about $1,500 to $5,000, depending on how extravagant it was. One show. My sunk cost of $5,000 has allowed me to put on, I'm just going to throw a number out there. I don't know if it's true because I hadn't counted, but 100 shows. 100 shows this year. Because I know we're halfway and I've streamed pretty consistently. So at least 90 to 100 shows for a $5,000 sunk cost. And using the same equipment and studio and stuff, I can broadcast another 100 shows, but my costs do not go up. My costs are already here. My costs don't go up. You know, I'm thinking about getting a backdrop or some other stuff, but that's going to be nominal, maybe a few $100. So what happens for me and what allows me to put together this show for you is happening in business. We can do much more for less, a lot less. And this is what's catching people off guard. This is what, because you know, you'll see it. It's like, hey, I know my job. I worked many years. I'm up to high pay scale. Then they get rid of me. They don't need you. They can do more with less, and it can be less expensive. And this trend is not going back. I don't care what Donald says. It ain't going back. It's not going to reverse itself. Why would you spend $100,000 when you can get better quality for $10K? You get more, not the same thing, but more for $10K. Why would you spend $100K? That makes no sense. It makes no sense financially. It makes no sense from a practical standpoint. It just makes no sense. Also, we have 100 people in the chat, so I need 88 of y'all to like this video. And I want everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice to super chat at least $5 and roll with it. Now, we have this situation. All right, let's just put this in here, where many people. Good Lord. I hate this thing. All right. Just for everyone that's tuning in, every man is a millionaire, 51% off in Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills. Plus, spend $350. You will get game 105. It ends today at 11:59 Pacific time. All right. So now, once again, we have people who are 40 years old. We have people who are 50 years old, and people have people who are 30 years old who don't understand that they must keep learning. They don't understand that they must keep thriving. They don't understand that they need to learn and unlearn. They don't really understand that. So everybody that's watching this at the sound of my voice, I want you to super chat at least $5. This stream is supported by you, the community. Now, we have so many people who see, let's see. We have people who see the wealthy and the well-to-do, and they want that lifestyle. I understand. I saw it when I was low, when I saw it when I have no money. I want that lifestyle too. But the difference is I was willing to put in the work and time and effort to get that lifestyle. But many people are not. They want to cheat the system. They want to create a paradigm in themselves of a better life without improving themselves or improving their marketplace value to the world. This does not have a happy ending. There is no love me long time. And this is one of the biggest problems that we have is people have grand expectations, but a very low output threshold. And what I mean by that is you have Ferrari expectations, you have a mansion expectation, but you have no friends, you have no people, you have no one that you know that has scaled those heights. So you think that you can do it when you have no idea what's confronting you. You have no clue to what you need to do to get there. So you think it's easy. Let's take Donald. He actually went on record and he said, who knew that healthcare would be this hard? His son, Jared, who's supposed to solve thousands of years of discord in the Middle East, them killing themselves and fighting in the name of Islam, fighting in the name of whatever they believe. And he was like, wow, this is overwhelming. This is what happens when you have people who don't have the breadth of experience, the acumen, the ability to see into themselves. They think they can do very complex things with very simple solutions. This is what happened, and you can see it doesn't have a happy ending. I will say this, and I'm not going to be overly political, but locking up kids in cages, this is going to have far-reaching effects, and the Democrats may win the House and the Senate because of it. That one issue, because that's just not who we are as American. We're not. Now, most of you are just horrified at these images, but there's a group of people who's like, I don't care, because it's all about me. It's all about what I want. Well, history repeats itself. This is how Hitler came to power. You know, actually, Hitler was so radical at one point they put him in jail. Yes, Hitler was in jail, and then he got out. He took over the party, and the rest is horrible, horrible history. These things don't start with Hitler. They start with a policy. They start with a tweet. They start with a concept that's just a little seed that grows. And this is a good parallel to your business. You can start with a seed, just a little seed. And then 10 years later, you can have this big, huge tree that grew because your seed, you put the right nutrients into it. You put the right organic water. And then someone else who has another seed down the road, they barely paid any attention to it. And they got a tree, but it's a small and scrawny little tree, and it don't really have a lot of leaves. Part of making it in this country and avoiding the recession, because I'm going to get into a recession lesson in a minute, is watering your seeds, making sure that they're well cultivated, make sure that it's properly taken care of, and also make sure that the soil that you plant these seeds in is nutrient rich. How many of you grew up farming? Yeah, I know a little bit about farming. Like in Alabama, it's hard to grow stuff because there's a topsoil that's dark, black, very rich in nutrients, and then there's this red clay under everything. We had a garden not too far from the outhouse. And now that I think about it, I think I know how that garden was fertilized. But it grew, and my grandmother kept a garden, and it grew corn and okra and all this other stuff, and it grew, and the corn was sweet. The okra was, I didn't like the okra, but everyone else liked okra. I did like the fried okra. And the tomatoes were big and red and juicy because my grandmother, she put like this topsoil on top of the already rich soil. Then she planted the seeds so they were in nutrient density soil. And that's why we had such a beautiful garden. And I would walk around the neighborhood and I would see other people with gardens. Like this one lady, she had these sunflowers and they were huge. I mean, they were like taller than me. And she did the same thing my grandmother did. And everyone that did what my grandmother did, they had great gardens. But the folks who just threw some seeds on the ground, some of it would grow. Some of the fruit looked like it was misshapen, misformed, because it didn't have enough nutrition to grow. That's what many of you are doing with your businesses. You're taking all of the nutrition, i.e. money, out of your business and putting it in your pocket, and your businesses are not growing. Just a thought. Let me get up into these comments. People walking by. Once again, this stream is supported by the community. I want you to go ahead and super chat that. All right. What's up, Johnny Walton? Thank you for being the moderator. And Siri, go away. Does anyone else know that your iPhone or any Apple product you have, the Siri's just popping on all the time? That's a little disconcerting. I'm thinking I have to shut Siri down. What's up, George? Ghosting while black, recession 2008. It's coming. The Wild Jones report, Ganja, Acuna, Richard Pooh. I see you got in on some of that dirty talk. What's up, Christian? Miss Finance, Mentor, Pamela C. Pamela C. serious about that exercise program. What's up, 285 Property, Acuna? Oh man, my knees are stiff. Okay, y'all have this conversation going on amongst yourselves. Anthony Johnson, love these recession talks. We're about to get into it. Roger Steele, good morning to all in the chat. Ganja, that's a great way to be, because as we're going to talk about, a recession is a time that you can come up if you're prepared. If you're not prepared, it's just going to roll you over. Look at Christian offering some fitness advice. I love that. What's up, Agent J. Poole? All right. I'm just going through this real quick. Yeah, I actually saw that. There are 9 Starbucks in the SeaTac airport. Wow. 285, problem with franchises over saturations. I asked Starbucks this morning after my lift. I'm a black coffee type of guy. Libertarian, built too many, and a lot of conservatives are still boycotting them for their promise to hire immigrants over veterans. I still don't go there. I think that doesn't have a serious impact because, and I say this because most people don't know what's going on. Do you know during Watergate, a lot of people didn't know Nixon was up for impeachment until after he resigned, and then the papers hit, and then people are like, oh, it was really serious. That's why I laugh when people's like, hey, he ain't found nothing. It's been a year. Let's end this probe. It's just like most folks don't really care or educate themselves on anything that is beyond their exact purview or what's really in their backyard. They really don't. So a lot of people don't even know about it, and they're not boycotting Starbucks. Same thing with Chick-fil-A and their religious practices. The CEO for Square and Twitter, he tweeted something about Chick-fil-A, and they all ate him up because Chick-fil-A has this policy, I think something against homosexuals. But a lot of folks don't know that. And we'll see you moving to Nashville tomorrow. Honey Bunny, we're well overdue for this recession that we supposedly aren't in. Pretty much. King Nick, yep. My parents live in a half-finished subdivision. They stopped building homes there in 2007, my senior year of high school, and it's still half-finished. You will see that again. What's up, Wayne Johnson? 285 Property, we can choose not to participate by getting the hustles up. And I should let you guys know, Hustlers, Glendon Cameron 07, which was 007, which was the first name of this channel, was started in a recession. And I think one of the best times to start a business is in a recession because you are dealing with real market forces. Because sometimes when the economy is good, your business could be growing based upon not real market forces. And then when people have to start making critical decisions, like do I go get the Starbucks coffee or do I pay my electric bill? The electric bill is going to win each and every time. Even McDonald's is going through a restructuring. I don't know. The libertarian, banking and investing will lose half their jobs to artificial intelligence in a couple of years, which I believe to be very true. And it's another reason that many people who are coming out of college that normally would go into investment banking are going into tech because they see the writing on the wall. There was this article in the Wall Street Journal where a lot of investment banks were having a hard time getting people because they were like, the same talent was choosing tech, which is going to be here, over investing, which kind of has a bad rap. So definitely. Jeremy Wright, also, let's not act like coffee cannot be demonized as a health risk, will hurt their sales like health consciousness is hurting chains like Applebee's and Chili's. You know what's funny about that? There's this company called Black Rifle Coffee, and it's the coffee of a lot of CrossFitters and athletes, because there's something about drinking coffee. I'm not getting this 100%, but it helps burn fat. So you could say that having a lot of coffee with 3, 4, 5, 6, packets of sugars, yeah. But the other argument could also be evidence, because just Google coffee for weight loss and you'll see what I mean. Yeah, McDonald's is definitely a much better deal. Honey Bunny G's telling the truth. I was hired to replace the job of previously 2 different people in the CPA. The owner told me hiring me saved over $100K a year easily. And that's something that you got to take in consideration when you're looking for a job. How easy will it be to replace you? Because if it's easy, it's going to happen very soon. I know of this girl who picked up her family, moved to Kansas for this job. She worked the job for 6 months. Then they laid her off because they bought this software package that could do her job. Ruthless, I say, ruthless, but they did that. Knowing good and well, and they gave her like a little extra money because they kind of felt bad having her move all over there, and she ended up moving back to Georgia. The PayPal link. Hold on. Make sure. Yeah, it's down there. I just had to check. PayPal link is under the video. All right. Should have paid the cameraman. That's funny. I'll tell you why that happens. When I was doing the streams on my desktop, I had a lot of real estate, but now I'm doing them on the laptop because I was starting to get neck issues from looking over there and looking at the camera. So I went ahead and switched to the laptop. Also, it was a better view for the DSLR, which now I dropped that thing, so I got to get another one. That's why you don't see those videos. But it is like really, really crazy how I don't have enough room up here, because this software that I use, it doesn't shrink. It can only get so small. So that's why you have these miscues. This is what happens when you do everything live. All right. King Nick, thanks for the $5 super chat. Ben the bartender, motherfuckers on cruise control pretty much. Michelle, thank you for the $5 super chat. Honey Bunny, thank you for the $5 super chat. No lies have been told in the G-verse. Oh, we about to talk about in a minute how to make some money. Jerome Wright, the movie industry is even being interrupted because AMC is coming up with a movie subscription service. Why go to the movies? I mean, I want you to really think about this. You can now have a 75 to 85 inch television. I got a 65 inch television, which is huge. And when I make a transition, I'm probably going to get a 75 or 85 inch television. You put a sound bar there, you pop some popcorn in the kitchen, you get a movie experience in your house. You got Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Video, YouTube Video. So movies are being eroded because, especially if you have small kids, you can have date night at home with the big screen television, and then your kids can do what they want to do and they're not screaming their heads off. So that's another thing that's contributing to that. Anthony Johnson, I grew up watching my great uncles make a living off entrepreneurship. I've seen the hard work and also seen the fruit of their labor. I believe that's what sets me apart. Well, that's called having a role model. I had Campbell, who was a pharmacist. I used to hang around his pharmacy, and I just soaked up the knowledge. Mr. Youngblood, hung around him. He was a businessman, soaked up the knowledge. There was this big thing, Simmons Machinery, who was a developer. He had 2 helicopters. I soaked up the knowledge. The more that I think back to my childhood, the more that I realize why I am the way that I am today. I saw what happens when you own a business. You get the big house, you get the nice car, you get the nice wife. I consistently saw that as a kid, but I didn't really think of it in those terms. I just say, that's nice, I want that. That's how I thought. I was in my child mind. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, whoa. If I grew up somewhere else, y'all wouldn't be talking to me today. This never would have started. And that's the importance of exposing kids to Anthony Johnson's point, that once they know something and see something and know it's possible, then their expectations are set. But if all you see is Pookie Nim, the hustle man, and then you become comfortable with it, because at a certain age, and I don't even know what age it happens, you become set in your ways. So if hustle man is the greatest ambition in your neighborhood, you may get at the hustle man level, and that's it. I actually grew up around a multimillionaire and didn't know it because I was a child. You know how much it costs to keep helicopters running? Like a part, because the guy showed me, he said this one turbine part was like, now this is $1980. It's like $3,000 to replace this part, and you can only fly it so many hours. That part's probably 15 grand a day, maybe even 20. 285 property, champagne dreams, ginger ale mindset. That's crazy. Monica, thanks for always giving the great information, even for the lurking women. All right. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Oh, Honey Bunny getting technical. AMC makes movies. They cut out the middleman so they don't have to pay as many companies to show their movies. You're right. Yep, people are making movies from their cell phones, which is true. What's up, Glenn? Everything is different on your channel. It's more freaknik, but one on the next level business channel. This will be it. I'm not going to make another one because I already know what happened. Honey Bunny 45. The damage is done. Can you see the ads that are going to come out this fall? You're going to have an ad, and it's going to be a kid screaming his head off. And that's how the ad's going to start off. They're not going to let people forget that he did that. He signed it because he had no choice. This was a soul-crushing defeat for him because it's 14 hours before he signed that, he said he wasn't going to do it. And I'm going to tell you what happened. The Senate ganged up on him. They were like 80 deep saying, you need to stop this. Now, if he had kept on, he would have forced this current administration to impeach him. He would have forced them to do it because most people who are not racist and bigots care about other people. And they're like, okay, I understand they're in the country illegally, just send them all back. Don't separate the mom and dad from the kids. And this is a policy snafu that's going to have deep repercussions into the elections, because he was already going to have a problem with the midterms. This did not help. Well, see, that's going to be the problem, because there's these kids who've been separated from their parents. This is going to stay in the news cycle for months. This is not something that's just going to die now because it's such a hot story. Let's see where we go. Good Lord. Hold on. Let me go back. Okay. Anthony Johnson, that political stuff so sensitive to me. Get some damn money. Here's the scary part. Check this out later. YouTube, Google Assistants make. Oh yeah, I did that. Google Duplex. I use GoDaddy SmartLine, and they provide an automated voice for business. It's crazy out there. Johnny Walton, I've been exercising by jumping rope and taking Nugenix Max and HDH. I'm 50. All right. Thanks for the $10 super chat. You're funny. Good Lord. Anthony Johnson, my eBay sales have been booming. I got to bless you. Awesome. Geo Maverick 1224, web development is one of the fields you can make a lot of money without college education, because everybody needs a web developer. I see that being big money for a long time. That's funny. Starbucks pushed back in Austin. So a lot of independent coffee spots. Erica Williams. That's what I'm trying to change. Almost 29. I don't want to be set in my ways. Ganja. Hey, Cooney, you're right about that. My kids look at me and all their little insecurities vanish. I cried when my son stopped complaining of the bullies at the school. That's cool. Eric Williams, yes, expectations and exposure. So many young black kids at college get teacher degrees. I think it's a lack of exposure and preparation. I know it's a lack of exposure and preparation. And hold on. And this is the point she's trying to make. There ain't nothing wrong getting a teaching degree. But if you knew that you could, like me, I got to see as a kid a garage sale work. And I really didn't think about that until much later in life. I got to see people making money, buying property, starting businesses, because I would hang out with them. They were white people, and I was this little black kid hanging out with them. And you know what? They let me hang out. Mr. Campbell, I'd be up in this pharmacy for hours. So it does make a huge difference. Purpose fit. There can't be another recession. It's hard out here for millennials. I got friends who aren't even 25 yet with 100. Man, you're going to see carnage. This is Gary V's word. You will see carnage. Pedro, when you say recessions, what markets would take? All of them. All of them. Because the recession in certain segments is like retail is in a recession. Retail is in a tailspin right now. Toys R Us, 450 stores. Starbucks closing 150 plus, because I know it's going to be more than 150. GE, which was one of the just was de-indexed from the Dow Jones. GE, which at one point made more millionaires than any other company, they could sell them for $7 a share, and they're parting out the company. Oh, brick and mortar is on life support. Unless you are, let's say you're a guy or a gal, and you want to start a store, and you have the financial wherewithal to pay off your property, to buy your store and pay cash for it, you could probably make a go of it. But if you're renting, oh yeah, you gonna have some problems. Burpees Pit, it's coming, because this is how recessions work. They don't just pop up. It usually takes many months for them to reach critical mass, and as they're on their way of rolling up, just kind of like this volcano that exploded in Hawaii. You know that volcano has been exploding for years. It was exploding when I was in Hawaii. It's had some bigger eruptions, and it's made the island bigger. You're going to have this recessionary pressures go through segment after segment after segment, and then when you have enough segments that are all in the recession together, then everyone's going to feel it. And I have a feeling that gas is going to be sky high. Mike Page, I listened to Hustler's Mindset. You stress context, looked it up, and still do not understand how you constantly use the word context. Okay. Context. You got a guy, he finds a girl, he turns her out, and he puts her on the street. That makes him a pimp, right? You find a guy, he gets a girl, he puts her in porn movies. That makes him a pimp. But the pimp on the street is going to be jailed, mocked, and demonized. The pimp on the internet, he's going to get invited to the Playboy mansion because of the context and how he did it. And I don't really see what was so hard about that. I really don't. 285 property is the major education system that needs major overhaul. That too, Erica Williams. All right. I don't know why it jumps like that. And everyone that's listening to the sound of my voice, I want you to super chat $5 or more. Appreciate you. Because we're going to have to get into something else after I go through these comments. Netflix, Redbox, and Amazon buy finance most diverse films. Many black directors in Atlanta and NC are getting $3 million for crappy boo movies every day. The excuses are over. Journal Wright, I was watching Vice, and a huge music director and now the director of Superfly, Director exclaimed that tech hurt his business so bad that Drake is the only rapper going to him for music videos. Drake's big. Tech's a huge disruptor. Yes, it is, Journal. Why pay $1 million for a music video when you can shoot it for under $5K? Can I get a hello? This is what I'm talking about, my creative theory, that someone is going to create a song, a book, or something, and due to the massive distribution backbone of the internet, they're going to be able to sell $1 billion worth of their product and keep all that money to themselves outside the transaction fees. Black Page, what about all the black kids that got separated from their parents due to the war on drugs? All right, I'm gonna get real here, and this is another lesson about context. I saw some videos that were massively disturbing because essentially there were black folks who were like, I don't care that these kids are getting locked up because this is what they did to black folks. Part of the problem is when you're in pain, you can't see someone else's pain. When you're in pain, when you've been hurt, when you've been harmed, you are unable to be mature enough to see what's going on. And I'm going to break this down to you for all you folks who's like, well, fuck them. I don't care. They did it to black folks. This is a tactical war. And Trump did this. And as much as those kids were hurting and missing their parents, I hope that he had stuck to his guns because that was going to get his ass out quicker. 14 hours from when he said, I ain't going to change it, to, the Republican senators that said, look, 80, because it was like 90% of the senators were against him. 90%. 90%. There's only 100 of them. And he knew that if he turned them off, it was over. So stop thinking of me and quote, black people, and start thinking of the larger aspects of the world. Because one of the reasons that so many black people are in fucked up positions, have no money, live in bad neighborhoods, is they can't stop being black people long enough to look at the way the real world works. So we could talk about it, but it ain't gonna change shit because black people don't have any fucking money. And if you don't have any fucking money, you don't have no fucking voice. Can we talk about building economies, getting your money up, and becoming a part of the society versus sitting up talking about, well, this went wrong and I need to talk about it? There's been too much fucking talk about black people and not enough action on building businesses, economies, and institutions. There's just been a lot of fucking talk. So, Black Page, I challenge you to actually do something about the situation. Because it's easy to sit and whine and try to divert the conversation. You want to check me? I've helped thousands of black people start businesses. What have you done? And please answer that. I want to know what you fucking done. Because when I hear this stuff about black people and they always talk about, I also notice there's a lack of massive action. You need some money to be recognized in this fucking world. But for some reason, a lot of y'all don't get that. You think the power construct is just going to give you money, give you power because you whine like a little bitch. It ain't happening. I live in the real world. I invite you to join me there. All right. What's up, Pinpoint Accuracy? What's up, Sharita? Herpes, second generation college. Black kids go to college for tech, engineering, mostly high and paying degrees. What's up, Mentor? Yeah, teachers are going to catch those L's. Journal right? That's crazy, man. The thong song? Been the bartender, that you're absolutely right. You can learn a lot at home on your computer now, and that's not worried about disgruntled students. And part of the problem is many people don't know how to learn because the information is here on the internet. It is here, but many people do not know how to use the information or their vocabulary or their understanding. One of the greatest things my grandmother gave me was the ability to read before I went to school. Reading and comprehension is the benchmark for all learning. So you got people who are 18, 19, 20, 25, 30 who are functionally fucking illiterate. So when you say, come to the internet, and I'm not beating up on you, Ben, I'm just trying to expand on your point. You got people who can't assimilate and dissimilate and absorb the information, even though it's free, because they don't have the skill sets to learn stuff. And that's something. And one of the things that, good Lord, one of the things that I'm working on is to become a better teacher and break it down even more, because I made the erroneous assumption that y'all would get it. And some of you did get it, but a lot of you didn't, because the information wasn't delivered in a method that made sense to you, if that makes sense. Let's see. Maddox, I lost my ass in GE. A lot of people did, man. A lot of people. Do you believe there will be an oversaturation of e-courses in the next few decades? It's still a relatively new concept. Even big universities are crossing over. There will be a lot of people putting out bullshit courses, crappy courses. Yes. Will there be an oversaturation on quality and effectiveness? No. Been the bartender. I know. This is what is happening right now. Let's see. hold on. Good Lord. I went to EUC. They were recruiting day and night for black folks to switch over to business degrees, finance degrees, tech related. They were throwing internships at me. Wow. Oil prices, gas is going up. Black Page, I do care. I just want fairness for my people. Black Page, let me tell you something. Fuck fairness. Fairness ain't gonna happen. You know, if the world was fair, we never would have been slaves. Well, let me stand corrected. Our great grand people would have never been slaves if the world was fair. The world ain't fair. The world ain't never gonna be fair. You can fucking let that pipe dream go and grow the fuck up. What's going to change the plight of black people is economic advancement. You know why? You know, a lot of those white folks who came over through immigration, a lot of those people from Ireland, a lot of the people from Italy, they were treated like niggers. Not Nigga, but Nigger. They were spit upon, they were trashed, and they were forced to live in certain areas. Doesn't that sound pretty familiar? And then, slowly but surely, they worked their way into the American mainstream. Another group, Asians. Asians used to be treated like niggers. Spick, slant-eyed. White boys were not checking for Asian women the way they check now. That was considered a disgrace if you married an Asian woman. All the GIs who were in Korea and brought back Asian wives, they were shunned. But the Asians say, you know what? We're going to become their doctors. We're going to become their lawyers. And we're going to own a lot of fucking businesses. Now you see an Asian kid in a Ferrari, you automatically assume that his parents are rich or he started some tech company. He could have stole that bitch. All Asians aren't smart. So let this fairness shit go. Get your ass to work and build. Because ain't no one going to do it. Because this is one of the things. And this is my journey. Because I used to be like, when I lived in the West End, I had this dream. Start a company, fix up all these houses, allow the old people to stay in the house, and then have them deed over the property to my company. And then we took it over after they died and made, all kind of profit, right? And when I told people about it, they're like, that sounds like a good idea. And when I tried to do it, there was so much fucking resistance. It's like, well, who's going to get the money? Who's this? Black people don't work very well together. There's a lot of mistrust and a lot of anger. And I would say, fortunately, now many black people are starting to work together, but for a long, long time, just did. So forget fairness. You might as well just go ahead and take a hammer and knock yourself upside the head if you think fairness is going to enter the equation anytime soon. You got to dominate, take over, and be some, because this fairness to my people, shit ain't going to happen. Stay away from hotels. That's kind of what these live streams are, man. Rugged Collars. I got, what do I got here? I got 188 people here. So I need more people to like, and I need y'all, everyone that's listening to me, to drop a $5 or more super chat. The Jack 81, black people always care about and support everyone else in their causes, which is a good thing. And we also care and support about our own causes. Richmond, there's a bigger picture of what's really going on. Pretty much Steve Wilson. That's it. Gotcha. I'm not sure if your father gave you the lesson in life. It's not fair. I have faith in you. You can change. Wow. Pamela says, as a black person, I know that we won't have the economic power to change anything. Money is power all day long. Like Linda said, how many rich black people have been shot by the cops? Can I get a hello? What's up, Amar? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Life's not fair. Miss M Stacks, I woke up to money fucking with Glendon. Yeah, like I said, let's talk about the purpose of the live stream, so to educate and to give people guidance on certain things and to talk about it. Like, I know you want me to get into the nitty gritties and exactly how to do it, and in the future I will do that in the course, because essentially if I just gave away all the juicy information, I would make no money. Just keeping it real. Eric, but black people contribute to the separation of the parents during the crack era by selling to their people, though. Oh, don't you come in here with some truth. Don't you dare come in here with some truth. Man. I don't know why this keeps jumping the way that it does. All right, here we go. Who pays for those border shelters of detention? It's taxpayers. Torrance J playlist, and it's a pretty penny. Wayne Johnson, I live what Mr. G's talking about. Black folks is their own worst enemy. Torrance playlist, American slavery used family slavery to force fear into Africans too. Douglas Jones, using affirmations get your subconscious mind. Judson Montemego, the trivium will teach you. What is that? I've never heard of that. Black Page, I'm not asking, dude, you were like, let's talk about that. And my comeback or clapback was, let's actually get active about that. Let's do action, because there's been enough fucking talking already. And my point still stands. So I ain't in my feelings, but it seems like you are. Sky the limit. True, a lot of functional illiteracy. And that's why a lot of people can't learn from the internet. No one talks about that or brings it up, and I talk about it quite a bit. Ganja Black. All right, I'm just going to do that. Ben the bartender. My wife is in coding. A lot of issues she has with syntax can be found on YouTube. The only problem is they're in different languages. I have noticed that a lot of Indian channels have exploded on YouTube. And if you don't speak, what is it, Farsi, you lost. Geo Maverick 124, true. The way to sovereignty is by building businesses and having money. The Jews did it. The Asians did it. We need to do it too. Become so essential to society that they need you. That's the key. I think a lot of black folks are trying to make society bend to their will, and good luck with that. Let's look at the records of that. Ain't happened yet. All right, let me just go through these. Journal Wright, tech is such a huge disruptor that music artists are going to private investors to distribute them to compete with corporations instead of going the traditional route. I actually saw this video where who's the guy that made the diss record about Drake? Pusha T. And he talked about that. He says, I wish I was like these young guys. They're not going for a deal. They're using their own money, and they're building, and they're making more money than me. You can find it. Pusha T. Vlad goes to Journal's Wright's point. Pretty much to a fire property. Archangel Eric Williams, I'm an engineer. When I got my MBA, I had jobs thrown at me. Pretty much Steve Wilson. Oh, Eric Williams. There was a group of illegal Asians going up and down Texas with stolen credit cards. People kept giving them good jobs. People assumed, due to the stereotypes, they were legit. Life ain't fair. Wow, Purpose Pit. 4 white ladies sent me $250 in donations to pay for 7 people of color to take my e-course. That's incredible. All right. I skipped over a lot because I need to get to the training. I will say this. I usually have to get on the phone to talk to folks through simple email issues and simple computer process. Folks are basically functionally illiterate, no skills. And that's a huge, huge problem. I actually see black people paying for Instagrams, begging for companies to hire them and begging people to tag companies in the comment sections. I mean, that's just business. I don't see that as a dignity issue. Do it, JJ. Okay, so let's get into some of this recession talk because this is one of the problems when you start talking about black folk issues. You just talk and talk and talk and never get anything done. Yeah, I said that because I'm gonna actually talk about my experience when I was coming out of that boarding house. I had an epiphany. I never really was a hotep or identified, or let's use the term pro-black. I was never pro-black or against pro-black. But when I was in that boarding house, I made this decision that I was not going to be black. And what that means is I wasn't going to lead with my, quote, blackness because the marketability of that ain't that great. So I made a conscious decision to be an educated, intelligent man, to be a good employee, and then being black was like third or fourth on the list. Never brought it up. Never, even when people were being racist, I never brought that shit up. Now, for about a year and a half, I had to go through some stuff. But then I got to the point where I got to be my own man, call my own shots because I went through the bullshit. And this is kind of one of the problems I see. And it is not even just a black person's problem. It's an entitlement person's problem that until you get some money, until you get some clout, you have no ass in the fight. You're not going to win. And that's a lesson that I learned. And then especially with when I made the move to Panel Systems Unlimited, they were good people, but there was some racist shit that went down. I never said a word about it because I was like, I ain't going to be here that long. And I think that made it more palatable to me because I knew I wasn't going to be there that long. And then I went to business environments. Then another racist event popped out. 6 months I was gone. And that's the last time I had a job. The difference between me and many other people is I actually did something about the shit that offended me. That's the difference. A lot of people complain and whine, but they don't actually do anything. They don't formulate any plans. They don't formulate any actions on how to facilitate change. None. They just sit there and complain and take it. All right. So, first thing you need to do to make money in a recession is to be, and this is going to be a big one, debt free. All right, hold on, let's just title this, How to Build in a Recession. Cool. Number one, debt free. A mortgage at most. No other debt. Now, why is this important? During the recession, everything goes on sale. People go on sale. The price of employees goes down. Furniture goes on sale. The price of buildings, rent, everything goes down. Now, when you're debt free, you're not servicing debt. Your money goes much further. And I'm going to give you an example of this. All right, let's say you have $20,000 in the bank. You have no debt. And then an opportunity comes up because you have money. And let's say there's this business deal, say it's inventory, and they want $20,000 for it. Do you give them the $20,000? No. Why don't you give them the $20,000? You know that in this economic climate, there's not a lot of people with that kind of cash. So you're just like, I'll take it for $15,000. And it depending on how desperate they are, they'll take it. They don't have any money and they got inventory, they're going to take it. And it's like, I'll give you $15,000, no more, and walk away and let them call you back. So you get this inventory of $15,000, but the inventory is now worth $40,000 at sales prices. So you have built yourself an amazing profit of $25,000 off of your $15,000 investment because you still got $5,000. You sell that stuff, then you go out once again. Now you got $30,000. Not a lot of people with $30,000. So you're able to make these deals and do things because you have cash when most people don't have cash. So your money goes 3 to 5 or 6 times, or in some cases 10 times as far during the recession. That's why you have to be debt free, and that's why you have to have some money. Now, I'm going to tell you what I did. I'm going to give you the whole game. Everyone that is within the sound of my voice, I want you to hit that super chat. I had money when I started YouTube. I had money in the bank. I had no debt, no credit card debt, no car payments, nothing. But I put myself on a $1,500 per month budget. And once that money was gone, I didn't spend no more money. And then I worked on, this is what gave me the ability to work on my YouTube channel for 6 months to start making some money. I was able to work it full time because I had some money. If I was a guy with, some storage auction experience, and I came on YouTube in 2009, but I had a job, it would have taken me 2 years to get to where I got in 6 months. Now, why is this important? Since I worked hard and did not get immediate gratification, I had a 14-month head start on every show and everything. So when people came to the internet and like storage auctions, they found me. When you have money, and this is the thing, you don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to be a millionaire. If you got $20K to $50K in the bank, no debt, no crazy obligations, the moves that you could make are sick. But here's the problem. Most people don't have any cash money. They may have credit or they may have business credit, but they don't have cash money. And this is why many people say starting a business on credit is foolish. So you spend that money in the business, say $50,000. Now you got to pay back $50,000 plus, which means you must have money coming in at an accelerated rate. One of the things I've learned from starting many businesses is a business is going to do what a business is going to do. You can push on that shit as hard as you want to, and it's just not going to do what it's going to do until you get enough high skill sets to really push it, or you just work your way into it. Now, one of the things that allowed me, with no experience on the internet as a YouTuber, not any experience as a marketer, was time. I had time to test and figure shit out without the pressure of how am I going to feed myself? How am I going? And I could have did it because let's see, I spent $1,500 August, September, October, November, December, say February, been livable income. So 7 months, so 10K. If I had 10K in the bank, same situations, I could have still started this channel the way that I started it. So it's not like you got to have a lot of money, but you got to have a lot of time and discipline and know where to put this money. Because one of the things that I know, like I get people emailing me all the time, trying to get me to invest in stuff. And unless this investment's I still feel relatively young. So unless your investment's going to give me more money than what I make on my own investing in myself, it's an automatic no. I'm like, okay, I put in 50 grand and I get like a $2,000 or $3,000 profit. That makes no sense to me. I could create a new product in 2 weeks and make 5 times that. It makes no sense to me. And that's where I'm at, because a lot of people don't understand that. It's like, hey, you should invest, you should do this. It don't make no sense. I'm doing better by myself. Which brings me to the recession deal. If you are in a position where you have more money, once again, 20 to 50K will put you there. You can leverage, or use an antiquated term, parlay that into significant money. All right. That's what I did. I parlayed my experience into cash, but that was leveraged by my savings account because I was able to devote all of my time and energy to this. I didn't have to work a part-time job. I didn't have to do all that. But this is one of the things that makes it so hard for a person with a lot of debt to create a business. So that's one of the reasons you got to get rid of it. All right. So number 3, you got to be a motherfucker. I know this is going to surprise some people. I was still kind of in the storage auction business. And during the recession, one of my friends, I helped him negotiate several deals where people had bought units and taken out what they wanted. And they was like, this is worth $300. I was like, no, don't offer them that. Offer them 50. Because see, the thing is, they had a situation. They had a unit that they didn't want and they had to clean it out. And to rent that unit was going to eat up all their profit that they made off the shit they pulled out. So he started getting all of these units at $50, which in the unit was legitimately worth $600, maybe $700. But because instead of paying them the $300, he paid them the $50, he started getting profits back much sooner. So in a recession, when everybody's hurt, everybody's bleeding, you got to stick a knife in people. You cannot look like I know this situation. I didn't buy the home, but there was this couple. The house was paid off. It was a very expensive house. One of my friends was like, what do you think of this deal? He had the money to give them their asking price, but that would have left him with like $80,000 in the bank. I said, I wouldn't do that. Find out how much they're suffering. So the house was like $420, and that's a jumbo loan. Well, that was a jumbo loan at the time. And I said, offer them $300K and see what they do. And he offered them $300K, and they went ballistic. And he walked away. I was like, dude, just let it go. Let it go. And they called him back 2 weeks later because there was some situations with the family. They needed money. And they was like, could you do 315? So he walked into this house with instant equity of, since the house was paid for, he had the $300K, but he got an equity deal of $125,000 of additional equity that he got in their house. And then when the economy got better, he flipped his house for $550. He only paid $315. See, you got to be ruthless. You got to be a motherfucker. And this is really going to be hard because typically people who get caught up in sentiment, people who get caught up in a compassion thing on business deals. Now, I'm not talking about, there's somebody that needs an operation and you got a little money to help them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about pure business deals. I mean, they got $315,000 for their house, cash money, closed in 10 days. So you got to, and during a recession, this is when you can do these 50% off deals. Hit people up on Craigslist. I'll take it for 50% off. Because you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. Let's see. All right. Let me get into this. Green Machine, you're not a black identity extremist. No, I'm not. Charles, hey, Glenda, I've been doing a lot of research on black people as far back to biblical days and found out blacks ran the world. They ran the world by doing just what you said, growing the economy, financial wealth, teaching their children to keep it going. So I give you big props for what you're doing. And Charles, you're someone that actually researched history past slavery. And this is one of the big problems. You got people who only go back far as slavery. So congratulations. Jay Preston, thank you for the $7 super chat. Everyone that's listened to me, I want you to super chat $5 or more. What's up? Be real. Rugged collars. Who we? They're not getting it. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. I work at Starbucks. Oh, wow, Malachi. Mo Grizzly, properly is slow but sure money when dealing with Section 8. Could be, but once again, under the current administration, that Section 8 program is going to be drastically reduced. So I don't know about that. That would come under as an entitlement program to be cut. No, this t-shirt is like Christmas in June, man. Eric Williams, man debt, 500 monthly car payments, 300 month student loan payments, plus apartment folks have too much debt and can't be flexible. And this is one of the problems that confronts many people who are loaded with debt. I mean, I want you to think about it. Let's take Erica's $500 car payments. You get rid of that car payment, that's $500. You get rid of those student loans, that's $800, almost a G a month to put into your business. This is why some people preach, rant, and rave against debt, because if you get in this situation, you stay there for 10 years, that's 10 years you can't bill. Andrew Johnson, put the pride aside and get a used car, pretty much. Purpose Pit, I'm scared for my generation, for real. My only debt is student loan debts. Andrew, you have to when you're building. You have to. Honey Bunny, I heard a car dealer commercial this morning said if you make $350 a week, you're approved for $30K for a new car. I thought to myself, let me tell you how that works. All right, it's called a paper chase. Well, it's the paper industry. So this car dealer gets you in-house financing for $30K. So they get the car sold to you. Then they sell that paper to another financial institution. So let's say on paper it's $35K. The car costs, let's do it right. Car costs $30. And with the financing, the car is going to be close to 45. Seriously, if you look at people with these 5, 6, 7 year car notes, they're going to pay that much interest. So the 30 price, so they're like 45. So what the car company would do is sell this loan not at 45, but they'll sell it at 37. So they get the price of the car and they get $1,000 instant profit, like right there. And then the financial company that holds the paper for the term, they get their money once you finish paying. That's how they make those deals work. Same thing with mortgages. They do the same thing. Honey Bunny, student loans. I wish I had paid cash for college. Y'all didn't know, man. CCWMS, living below your means is crucial. Anthony Johnson, I love going for the kill. Hey, I'm just telling you how to come up in the recession. Always ready, 24/7. That's what I really like about. Good Lord, it jumped on me. That's why I like your channel. Although times are tough, you say positive and hammer it out. I'm tired of people taking gloom and doom with no solutions. I like a YouTuber in your city. Oh, really? Who would that be? Well, don't say it. Don't say it. Pretty much Green Machine. Brothers of Travel, plan to start living in my car by October for maybe 3 years and save up to invest in my online magazine. I have a different option. Live in your car and start your magazine now. Oh, Lance, how do we stop teaching our children in build? What do you mean? Yeah, used cars are the businesses. Yes, 18 and 20% interest loan. I get phone calls daily from folks on how to get rid of a loan. Awesome. Good for you, Green Machine. Purpose Fit. I know California's turned to tent city. It's not a joke out here. Even if you want to start a business, LLC is 800 bucks. But I'm thinking of moving. Good move. Troy Glover read an article of 2% of the people in the U.S. own their car and 1% own their house. I could tell you that those numbers are off. About 25% of the people in this country own their house outright. The cars, I will say that's higher, but I will look. I don't know much higher, but I know the 1% on the house is wrong. Mr. Shelley, people do this every day. Cool. Nope, flight attendants will not be safe from this. No one other than an entrepreneur that's pushing on their business is safe from this. All right. So, and 4, you must, and this is going to sound crazy, must have a plan for growth. See, it's not just enough to get these good juicy deals. You got to have a way or a plan that you're going to take these things to the next level. So let's go back with my 20,000. Let's say you got 20,000 in the bank, and also you still have a source of income. This is very, very important. You have a source of income that will pay your mortgage, put food in your mouth, put gas in your car. This 20K is house money. And when I say house money, or I should say your business nut, your business money. So you take that 20K, you get this $40,000 worth of inventory, you sell it. Now you got what? 25. Let's say you got 50 G's. Because you started out with 20, you made $30,000 profit, so now you got 50 G's. You take that 50 G's and you put into another business deal. You never, ever use any of that money for a purpose other than your business. You treat that like it's a sacred law. When I was in the storage auction business, I had in my wallet money for me, and then I had the business money in my other pocket. I did not commingle funds, because then when it came down to accounting, you knew what was what real easy. If I bought lunch with a certain credit card that was for those type of things. That's what I would do. And you take that 50K, and it could take you, because the recession is going to last, because they'll tell you a recession lasts 12 to 14 months, which could be true, but the effects and the ripples of a recession will last for years. So say it takes you 2 years and you turn that $20,000 into $500K by flipping deals and having financial discipline, and keep your job or keep your or start a hustle for money, for bills and stuff. And as long as you keep leaving that money in the business, it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And I'll talk about the hustle path in a minute. A multifamily garage sale, that could work. Brothers of Travel, my lease is up September, should have a car. Brothers of Travel, I'm going to actually give you some game here. I'm about to teach you something. I expect a super chat like $25-50. I'm serious. Brothers of Travel. All right. This is for Brothers of Travel, whoever wants to do it. I will take it to you a millennial. Go out and find yourself a used conversion van. And this is what you do, because this is real hot on YouTube. You buy the van and you come on YouTube and just say, look, this is my goal. I'm going to live in this van, and I'm going to record and document the whole process while I start my online business. And I'm about to show you something. Hold on a second. Let me find it first. Oh, wait a minute. I need to find it here, because I have a feeling this is a YouTube channel that I have been tracking. Let's see if I can find it. Roll with. Okay. Okay. All right. Make sure that this. All right. So they started this channel. And I'm going to show you the whole trajectory. And we go with the oldest. They started this channel 1 year ago. And they started off pretty strong, but they had a very tight concept. And they got the bus. There's the bus. They're showing the renovation of the bus. They already have sponsors. They have Netflix. They have Audible. I feel they're making like 10 to 15K a month just from this channel. So you can start this channel. We'll get you a van. And I'm going to tell you something. You would be one of the, if you're black, I don't know if you're black or not, but if you're black, dude or dudette, well, you said brothers, so you will get a whole different fan base. It'll be very unusual. You'll get mostly white people, because a lot of black folks aren't into this, but you will be able to network with other online people. You will be getting life experience and stories for your kids, because they did all of this and they blew up. Let's see, how many views do they have? They got 8 million views in probably 16 months. 8 million views. And around, like I said, let's go back to videos. I can tell exactly when they started. So
the serious fight against
it started. Yeah, whoa, November. Yeah, about 18 months. So you can build your online business, use the process that you're building. Just go up and say, look, I'm living in this van because I want to start an online business and take money. Dude, this is a thing right now. It's probably going to be a thing for the next 4 or 5 years. So you could just go ahead and build something that will give you more money than you ever dreamed of. So that's for you. Because see, this brothers are travelers. So you get to travel, you get to experience new things. And all you got to do is document what you're already going to do and why you're doing it. I've seen this work for a lot of YouTubers. Honey Bunny, 6 million of those people are behind on their payments, according to the article. Another recession sign. Anthony Johnson, you got to flip bread. That's why I don't move money from my PayPal account. Awesome. Johnny Walton, my mother had an acre of land. I'm going to see if she'll let me do some beekeeping. Might be a nice side hustle while I'm out here driving the semi truck. If you package up that honey a certain way, it can definitely be a good side hustle. Van Life. Oh, that's another channel. Monica Stafford, the environment of wealthy and successful people is so different from people in poverty. Yes, it is. Always ready. Glendon is 10% correct facts. There are only a few. There's a few. Yeah, there's only a handful of them really doing it. Honey Bunny, there's a huge YouTube community of van lifers, tiny houses, and nomads who make their money just vlogging their lifestyle and converting their vehicles into homes. Yep. Exactly, Ben the bartender. Because there aren't any. I have not seen one yet. Purposely, a couple channels do well. Get a pretend girlfriend, boyfriend. I've seen channels do well. There was just one person. Joshua Hill, smart truck drivers could easily set themselves up to come out on top by living in a truck more. Judson, I went over the road transport driver. I'm on the way to having $30K saved by December. Awesome. 285 property. Whatever your husband, document it. I do believe in that. Purpose it. How's a black woman gonna do van life? How I'm gonna get my hair done? You're gonna have to figure that out. You have to go natural. That's what you do. You go natural. Everlasting Glow, I'm black and I'm definitely into the living my car documentaries. There's this one guy, he just started talking and his channel blew up. Shut Up and Sit Down did a YouTube video for kids, but they pretty much give the advice you give. It's pretty cute. Really? I didn't know that. Oh, really? Send me a link to that, Honey Bunny. I want to see that because I have not seen one black person. Cool. All right, so back to the training. I think I'm going to have to throw these ads back on here. 5. Before you start, you need to have a 5-year plan. One of the problems with many people, and I see this all the time, I don't plan anything. I'm just living my life. That is just bad advice. And you can have a 5-year plan, and it's probably going to change. It's probably going to change, but at least you have a template to go off of. All right, so let's see how long is this live stream. Because I've just been going on and on and on. Oh, good Lord. It's way longer than I wanted. All right. So let me switch back to this one. Because I'm not doing the disruptive mail this morning. I'm going to do it later on tonight. So 5-year plan. You can make a lot of money in a recession if you're properly situated before the recession. That's the reason I had the $10,000 challenge. That seemed to kind of petered out. A lot of people were like, I don't want to do resale. I'm broke, but I don't want to do anything I don't want to do. Your choice. And I see that. And it's kind of crazy how often people take that mindset. It's quite abundant, really. How many people who are broke? It's kind of like these jobs that only immigrants do. You got folks who are broke and living on welfare, but they ain't gonna do that job. That's kind of crazy. Brothers of travel, I have a small car. Okay. All right, so what I'm about to do is drop this. And we're not going to do that. Okay. So here's today's special. You get 51% off anything at Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills. All right. You spend $350 or more, you get Game 105, which includes Talk Dirty. Now, I should say, oh yeah, the code is execute. This is in the link under this video. Now, Game 105 is the bundle that I'm giving to people who spend $350 or more. Now, 11:59 p.m. tonight, Pacific time, this offer goes away, and then this goes to this. Because to talk dirty to me, that's probably going to take me 4 weeks to build out. Fortunately, I have a lot of the content already, and it's currently Talk Dirty to Me is only $99 because it's in beta mode. But once that's done, it's probably going to be a $350 course. So you can actually go below the video, and you have the access to. Oh, do you do it? Yeah. Yeah, all links are below the video. You can get into Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills, find the course you want or the bundle you want, use that coupon execute and get 51% off. You spend $350 or more, you get lifetime access to the first tier of Disruptive Mail. All right, so I know y'all got super chats in you. So I'm expecting a super chat of $5 or more. I'm going to turn the ads back on. Good Lord. There's a lot of people in this van life. So let's see. She looks like a California girl. Let's go here. Thanks, Honey Bunny. Corey, keyword is broke. Erica Williams, I am broke but too classy for actual works. Those are already the first people heard in the recession. Do hard stuff now before you be forced to do hard stuff. And that was kind of part of my life, doing that day labor stuff. Mo Grizzly, that's cool. I own my mother's house outright, just pay taxes, still own the rentals. That makes sense because the house that you live in is paid for, and then the houses that you rent out, you're having other people pay the mortgage. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Purpose is hard to know what the right thing to do sometimes. Well, that's when you got to experiment. Yeah, you just can't commingle the funds. Okay, well, I'm getting ready to go. You have your marching orders. All the links are below. I will see you guys later. Be sure to subscribe. And Lance Brown, thanks for the $5 super chat. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys later over at Disruptive Mail.